What you guys, got another video here for you. This is my first ever time using a 3D printer, so I thought I'd show you my experience of setting it all up and basically making my first print. So you can see this is the GeeeTech A20 and it's got everything you're going to need to get up and running with 3D printing. Now I know nothing about 3D printing, so I thought I'd give it a go at setting this up with a bit of help from Don, who's on our Discord server. Good friend of mine, knows quite a bit about 3D printing, and he taught me through it over a video live feed on the Discord server on how to get this set up and get it running. So this is everything you're going to need to set up your GeeeTech A20 if you ever purchase one. I'll leave all the links in the video description. This is the bed apparently where the actual printing will take place. We've also got the framework here which I need to bolt together. This is 4 bolts on the bottom here, which you have to bolt up to bolt the top frame on. This is where the filament will go through this pipe in here to the extruder. As you can see here, I'm just going to plug all these types of cables in, which are all labeled, and makes it pretty straightforward. Just follow the color pamphlet which tells you exactly how to set this up. And again, we've got this little attachment here. This is where the filament will go through into the extruder there, and basically this will feed the filament, so it makes it nice and easy. So got that nice and loose. It is meant to be that loose, I'm told. And of course I need to now plug in some more cables. There's quite a few cables, and it can be pretty daunting when you've not done any sort of 3D printing before. So at the moment I'm still learning, and of course this is a learning curve, and it is quite a steep learning curve because there's more to 3D printing than meets the eye. So I'm just going to put on the little filament holder here. It does come with a little tiny bit of filament, but I was recommended to buy my own reel of filament, which I did do because obviously you could run into problems with the cheaper filament that they supply. So there's a few more cables to plug in here. Now this is not a setup video as such because obviously I'm no expert and I really don't want to come across as an expert in 3D printing. So I just wanted to show you my experience. Now this sticky pad will need to go onto the bed and stick down. You can see it is moving about here, and that's because it needs to be tightened down. And there's also a big step of getting the bed level, which I knew nothing about, which I'm still learning. So stick by and I'll show you what it turns out like. Now there is a little cable here that you need to put a cable tie on, and there's some other cable ties here. Now, generally, it does come all set up with all the tightening of the bolts is already done, but I'm just going to go through as they recommend to just make sure everything is nice and snug. Don't over tighten any of this stuff because it is aluminium and you can strip all the screws. So just slightly tighten just to make sure everything is running freely and working perfectly fine. Now, you will see that the bed is moving around. This has probably got loose in transit. So I just need to tighten this down a little bit, and there's 4 bolts on the bottom, and it's not those 4 sort of big cogs that you turn there. That's to balance the bed. This is to basically tighten the bed to make it nice and tight. So I'm just going to tighten these 4 up here to make sure it's nice and snug. Now, of course, I'm being coached by someone else in the Discord server here to tell me what to do on a live feed that I did over the weekend. Of course, drinking and putting this together is never a good mix, and that's exactly what I was doing. So I'm going to feed the filament through here now, and of course the first mistake I made was start trying to print too early. This needs to be pushed all the way through, all the way down to the actual head, the nozzle at the bottom, which gets hot and then pushes the filament out. So you need to do that. Also, there's this little switch on the side here which you need to make sure that is at the right voltage for your country, so make sure you get that right, and then you should see an on-screen display like this one. And there's a bunch of other steps that you have to do inside this display bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and get the SD card ready, which comes in the kit as well, and there is a test print on there. You can use the Cura software which you can install onto your PC, which you're going to need to do, but there's plenty of other already completed projects which you can already download for free and start printing. Now you may think that is really simple, just like I did, but you do have to balance the bed and get all that set up. And of course, me being impatient really wanted to get things going. And of course, I did sort of jump the gun a little bit. You do have to really sort of take your time. That cable is definitely in the way and will need to be pulled out. So I did do that. There is a setting inside here which says next corner, and you just go through the next corner process and use the card that comes in the kit as well. And you just make sure that that is just having a slight drag on there. Now, you may think this is pretty straightforward and easy to follow, but it's not. It's a really difficult process, and that bed needs to be really flat and perfectly level. If it's not, then what you're going to do is run into problems when you print. Now, thankfully, I had someone who knows what they're doing, and Don helped me set this up and get it balanced with a bunch of different types of methods to get it balanced. Now, it wasn't perfect, and we were still work in progress, and it can take a bit of time. But me being me, I just wanted to do a quick print. So there is prints inside here, and of course, this is the test print that comes with the test machine. I did download one called Benchy off the internet, and I did print that. There's a slight bubble in that pad that goes onto the bed, which shouldn't be there, so I had to smooth that out. And of course, you can see the result here is not great. The bed's still a bit loose. I needed to balance it a little bit more, but you can see the result here. There's a lot of graining on the side there, some not really laying down the filament properly. It should be nice and smooth, and that's because the bed has not been balanced correctly. And another problem I had was the fan which cools the nozzle, and the duct was broken on transit. So they are going to send me a new one, and that can actually affect the way the filament is laid down. And you can see it's not cooling the nozzle down, which means it's getting super hot, and that can have an effect as well. So if you're looking to get into 3D printing, just bear in mind that there is a bit of a learning curve on how to level the bed and how to set it up correctly and get it working how you want it, because some of those big projects that you see online that look absolutely awesome, this machine can print those out and can do a very good job at printing those projects out with ease. You just have to bear in mind you have to get that bed level and get it set up. So having someone around who knows what they're doing is essential to get in perfect 3D prints. That's why we use things like these little benches to print out, so we can see what the print looks like, and we know we've got the bed level before we go into big projects. So leveling a bed is really, really important, and that's something that I didn't understand when I started this project. Anyway, I think that's going to be about it. If you are interested in the GeeeTech A20, then I'll leave all the information in the video description. A pretty awesome printer for the money. My name has been Brian from britechcomputers.co.uk. I just want to say a big special thanks to all my YouTube members who have joined my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.